welcome back to the Hearthstone World Championships.
Yep.
Nailed it, guys!
Yes! Got one.
Got him. All right. Here we are. We're staying on the couch. We're going to keep going, despite all the mistakes. The next match is going to be RenieHouR going up against Tarei.
Oh.
And this is actually a really nice one. RenieHouR is the guy who went to the top 4 of the OGN Masters against China, the only Korean that even made it into the round of 8. So definitely one of the very top Korean players, the fastest player in the tournament, for sure. Highest APM in Hearthstone. Although I don't think something that we should be bragging about in Hearthstone, like in other games. But he's going up against Tarei, the miracle expert, kind of like an unknown Gosu of Hearthstone, where like all the top guys know who he is and he's great, but isn't as popular, really.
Well, I'm curious. So far, Tarei has been able to play his rogue deck in every match that I've seen him play. For some reason, people are not banning that rogue deck.
Yeah.
He didn't win with it though in the previous round. He's very good with it. I'm curious to see if RenieHouR bans it.
I am too, actually. And with what Renie is playing, I think that's a really good ban. If you know that he's playing like the Alex Strauss one, because he's playing Priest, Warrior, Shaman, Warlock.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see the ban, because I would assume Tarei is going to ban my Warlock. And then I've got like 2 life gain ones. And then Shaman, which is normally not that good against Miracle anyways. I think that's a great ban.
Well, there is that Warrior again over on the side of RenieHouR, and Tarei is the only player in the entire tournament to bring a mage deck, and it's the Freeze Mage deck.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
He did not ban Warrior last time he played.
Yeah, he didn't ban it, and he got he got a little bit punished for it. He could have won with his, if he had won with his Miracle Rogue deck, he wouldn't have been as punished. But the way it turned out, he had a relatively weak draw.
Do you think he was worried that his mage was going to get banned?
Yeah, he could have been.
Right.
If you ban the Warrior and your mage got banned, you're like,
huh.
oh.
In this case, I wonder if he did end up banning the Warrior and whether or not his mage got banned. I think this time he's going to play it safe and ban the Warrior away anyway.
Okay,
I don't know if that's
true. This makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, the Freeze Mage against Priest is bad, but not as bad as against Warrior. And against the other 2 decks, Shaman and Warlock, it's actually pretty good, especially if that's a handlock deck.
Well, RenieHouR, like you said, one of the strongest Korean players. It's no surprise that he made it here to this tournament. And checking out where the Tanker to Terror is from.
Where it's from? Well, imagine if it says "Made in Korea" on the bottom.
just go pick one right up, right?
Yeah.
You know, no
I'm bringing
delivery
this back
required.
home with me right now. Okay.
They are really cool, by the way.
Yeah.
I was playing with them earlier. I made little like Mega Man blasters on my arms out of it.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Cup Man. I'm like, wow, you guys are really struggling over at Capcom. Well, RenieHouR, this guy is a very strong player. Kranish already like killed it, right? He's already in the next round. So if Renie falls out, it's a little bit sad. But anyways, Tarei over here. You can see. Let's actually just check out a little bit more about Tarei.
Yeah, please.
He's more of an unknown player.
He says that he plays a lot of different decks, and he's always trying to fine-tune.
People are saying that Tarei, you were saying it, that this guy is a sleeper.
I've been playing Hearthstone for almost a year. I played in a lot of weekly tournaments before, such as NESL, and I do pretty well on the ladder, so when you're pretty high up, you usually face the better people. It was pretty cool, you know, to, of course, meet the people you see on streams and stuff. I was attending Concordia University in Irvine, which is about 10 minutes from my house, and I was majoring in business finance and minoring in graphic design. Growing up, I actually moved around a lot, so I kind of became somewhat, I guess, bad at making strong connections. But after I moved to Irvine, I actually made some pretty good friends who taught me how to be a better friend, better person. Definitely the people who support me the most are my parents. They do their best to help me, and of course all the people I play games with. I basically got good at games just because I spent a lot of time playing with them and learning about games with them. For Hearthstone, I didn't really expect to go pro or anything. I kind of just played for fun, and it just ended up this way.
Let's go into our last match of the day. Tides of Time versus Tarei. And this one should be explosive. It's a 50-50 to win or stay in the game, and it misses. Oh, and Tides is devastating. I believe Tarei has gotten his ticket to BlizzCon.
If I was to win BlizzCon, I'd of course be really happy and grateful. But more than anything, I think it would let me live, I guess, differently financially. Like, I'd be able to continue pursuing games professionally, and so for me, it would be quite life-changing and pretty big.
All right. Learned a lot about Tarei there, actually. I'm kind of rooting for this guy now.
Yeah, I think that even just being from the Americas region for me will make me want to pull for him a little bit more. But I really do like RenieHouR, though, as well. But Tarei, he has been a little bit of that sleeper, that really great player that you haven't seen in a lot of these invite tournaments or as an element of the pro scene for a very long time. But I was not surprised when he made it here to this tournament, and having both of these players in an elimination match.
Oh, you guys, sorry to interrupt you. He did
no
ban
problem.
Warrior, and his rogue did not get banned again.
Well, there you go. And his Warlock is banned away instead, but that does leave the Freeze Mage, it has the potential now to get some work done that it wasn't able to do the last time he played.
And here
And
it
he picks
is.
it in
Here's
game
that
one.
Freeze Mage.
And it's going up against Shaman, which is actually quite a nice matchup for Freeze Mage. Like, if you're playing like double Rockbiter and stuff, sometimes you can race and put enough pressure on to get him, but a lot of times you have slow starts with Shaman, and it's just not possible.
Right? Shaman wants to get as much consistent pressure on the board as they can throughout the early turns and have ways to stop a Doomsayer or something like that from swinging it back around. And now this style of freeze that he has both Loot Order, he has obviously this Mad Scientist here. This helps fight for the early board a lot better than they used to be able to do.
We've got two really late game cards in both players' hand. Archmage Antonidas for the Freeze Mage and Alakir the Windlord for the Shaman. It's going to sit there for a long time.
Yeah, and I would say that it's like the Archmage Antonidas is almost completely unneeded in this matchup. That's like for a little bit of extra reach against classes that are going to heal a bit more.
Right.
Here it's like, I mean, he could play it, he could not play it. He's not going to run out of burn to finish the game, most likely. So it's not too important of a card, I don't think.
Well, what it might do, though, is give him some leeway to use the burn spells that are in his hand as a removal if he finds that he needs to.
Good point.
So that is something that every now and then you're like, oh, can I use this burn spell? Can't I? And you end up holding on to it because you know you need it to win. And Archmage Antonidas can give you a different way to sort of refill on that win condition. Those burn spells.
Yeah, that's quite a good point. This actually makes me think, because I love Archmage Antonidas. Like, this is one of my favorites. What is your favorite legendary reels?
My favorite is Alexstrasza.
Alexstrasza.
My favorite has been Alexstrasza for probably forever. Before I even played the game, back when there was the beta and I didn't have a beta key and I really wanted one. And I would go to like every website and enter every little contest and try to get a beta key. And
that was really rough for some people.
When I did that, I would make all of these decks on all of these, fan websites and stuff with these deck builders and look at all the cards and be like, ooh, and what could I do with these? And the first deck that I ever made before I even played the game was basically Freeze Mage, built around Alexstrasza, because I thought that was the coolest card I had ever seen.
All right, and Ben Brode, what is your favorite?
You face Jaraxxus!
What is Jaraxxus? Is he like a lord or something?
Yeah. Where's he from? Like,
yeah,
what is he?
Like, what is the area of which he is a lord?
Oh man, I love everything about Jaraxxus.
All right, Jaraxxus he's really cool, but I like Antonidas and I like
the flavor of Jaraxxus is so great.
What's he taste like?
Well, this turn here is going to end up being potentially a very crucial turn. And versus Shaman, a lot of the time you can't rely on Doomsayers to go off in order to win the game. You need to find things like Blizzard and Flame Strike in order to clear out the Shaman's board. what he has is the Doomsayer.
Now, because we're going into turn 6, do you think this might be a really great play to try the Doomsayer freeze combo anyways, because that will prevent a Fire Elemental from even being played?
Well, it would prevent a Fire Elemental from being played, but the more important thing is that the Shaman does have an answer to the Doomsayer,
Yeah.
and in order to keep the pressure going. And
Flame Tongue Totem and Hex, right?
yeah, well, Flame Tongue Totem,
it's not quite enough.
presumably the minions would get frozen.
Oh, of
Well, see,
course.
the reason why I kind of like the play is it buys him an entire another turn,
Oh,
which
really?
is... Oh, okay. He
That
doesn't want
was
to do
surprising.
that. Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting that, but I guess
Yeah.
he just doesn't want him to have such card selection.
Right. Well, it can be tough when they have the perfect play every turn,
Mhm.
but I've found, at least in times when I've played Freeze Mage, when I don't have a great answer to a Manatide Totem, I just let it go. And
Yeah.
at a certain point,
Agreed.
they just overdraw,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, especially if you're freezing, like they may just have the board too full with things like totems.
Yeah.
I agree with that, actually. I wouldn't
Ooh,
have personally
Doomsayer
done that.
number 2. So the threat of the Doomsayer going off actually has increased quite a bit, and it may work out that he took out the Manatide Totem, because now it's less likely for RenieHouR to have an answer to both Doomsayers. So he needs to find like an Earthshock or
He does have Hex.
something like that. Well, but for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, another Doomsayer still coming.
Yeah, the end is coming,
The
unless
end is
RenieHouR...
coming.
I'm actually surprised he played the Totem instead of cycled the Gnomish Inventor.
Well, Gnomish also would have been a good play. I think it may have been a little bit better because he needs to continue to find answers to this, but he's not expecting Freeze plus Doomsayer number 2.
Indeed.
Yeah. Do you think Freeze Mage and Miracle have some similarities that are both playing to Tarei's strong suit?
Oh, and
Yeah.
that's 6
Freeze
damage.
Mage is kind of like a combo deck as well. You know, you draw through your entire deck as much as you can, and you just kind of stay alive with whatever removal you can get.
Oh, and he just lets it go. So
Wow.
this is possibly really key here.
That's a huge Doomsayer.
Yeah, the Shaman has so much damage available. I would like to see Antonidas come out right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
but-
because there wasn't any Hex, there wasn't any Silence. That would be very hard
Well,
to remove.
he has so much damage in hand already. He's actually really close to outright killing RenieHouR already with the cards in hand.
Yeah.
If he had 3 fireballs,
Yeah.
that's 18 plus Frostbolt and Ice Lance is 7.
He's got 2 Ice
That's
Lances.
25 plus Ping is 26.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's actually a really
if
good
he had
point.
played
What to do?
He could
Antonidas
just-
and Ice Lance, he would have had enough damage in hand
Yeah.
to kill the Shaman.
I mean, he has
and he would have had to deal with Antonidas.
He has 23 damage in his hand right now, right?
Well, he could
Yeah.
do something like Fireball here, and the next turn use Frostbolt and Ice Lance to freeze whatever's played, or even go to face with it and get 2 Fireballs, and that's like
Yep. So
just so
he's-
much damage.
He's realizing it too, and he's realizing how close he is to
Yeah,
being able
yeah.
to just win.
I think you're right. I think he realized that, like, oh, maybe Antonidas was a better play this turn.
Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know if it was a better play. I think that it was a good play. But playing the Arcane Intellect does prepare for contingency a little bit better. And
Maybe that was why he didn't want to Fireball last turn.
Alex Straza is a nice one. Alex Straza actually means your opponent is just dead next turn.
Next turn, right. Because that's enough mana
Yeah,
to
he has
as long
field.
as
double
they can't
Ice
kill you.
Lance,
Yeah, that's huge.
Frostbolt, Fireball.
Yeah, that's
There is
18.
no
I believe
healing
that
in
is
the
18 damage.
Shaman deck.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Or no, it's 14. No, 14?
No, it's ping plus 11 plus 6, so 18.
Yeah, 18 damage. So Alex Straza into 18. I mean,
It's pretty good.
Hmm.
It's pretty good.
eventually he's going to count it up and he's going to realize that he's probably not dead next turn with only 6 damage showing.
Probably not.
Probably not.
You'd need some weird Wind Fury stuff.
How about Rockbiter number 2?
Oh, yeah, that could have been a lot of damage.
Oh, not quite.
He's got
18 plus 6, that still would not have been enough.
yeah, and this,
Even that would have been 24.
he's not playing to win this turn. He's playing to stay alive, but he doesn't realize that his opponent has
chance.
lethal damage in his hand.
Yep.
It is unstoppable at this point.
In fact, the fact that he got Fireballed and then Alex Straza, I bet he's looking and being like, oh, I might just be dead here. Whenever you see a Fireball just go to your face when you haven't been Alex Straza, you have to wonder
Yep.
how much damage is in that hand. especially when he hasn't developed a single secret and has barely played any draw cards.
He got a secret earlier.
Yeah, he
Off
did
the
get
Mad
one.
Scientist, though.
Yeah.
Right. Not out of hand.
How much damage could he have dealt with Flame Tongue plus Alakir? It's 10 damage from Alakir.
12 damage from Alakir.
With Flame Tongue?
Oh, with Flame Tongue, right.
Flame Tongue would be
right.
slightly
Yeah, because he
more
could have
damage,
added
the same amount. I guess.
2 onto each of these other minions as well.
It's plus 12 damage.
If he had top decked Rockbiter, would that have been a win for the Shaman deck?
No, he would have had 24 damage into
Well
Tarei's
played.
26 health.
Oh, wow. Well, that is it.
Yeah.
Tarei taking it to game 2 with the Freeze Mage.
Oh, that
Extra.
is so sick.
Extra BM.
Wow.
Well,
Frost bolts himself. Maximum self damage there, guys.
I'll give him maybe like 5 or maybe 6.
You guys are
On the
stingy
BM
with
there?
the BM points.
You're only
Oh.
giving. No,
can't-
this
you
is
think
a
that's
10
10?
in BM.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. 10 is when you the first you say GG, you start casting everything, you ice lance your face, and then you look, oh no, I messed up. That was my only ice lance. And then wait until
So
the
you're
rope
giving him a
burns,
9.5?
and then throw the last ice lance.
That's like acting involved too.
Yeah. Well, you want 10? You do 10.
Well, look, okay, no. If he does the acting and lets the rope get down right before he kills, then I'm giving it an 11. Okay, I'm changing the rules.
You can
But
go to
this
11.
was a 10. Well, for
goes
that
to-
you could.
11 out of 10.
Someone who starts roping someone that's sitting right across from them while
Yeah.
100,000 plus people are watching, that's an 11.
There's a
Yeah.
BM multiplier.
But you gotta
when you're
get
that
you gotta get like
close.
the
Yeah.
oh no, what do I do now? Like
That's like, it's like spell damage, it's like BM power or something. Like you just
Yeah.
it's a
plus
little bit
1,
more.
it can go above the normal
But that
max.
was, as far as I'm concerned, a pyroblast of BM.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Didn't have Thalnos out for that though. Even though he did technically have Thalnos out for that.
I'm glad we talked that. I'm glad we got
Yeah.
that out of the way. What that means now is Freeze Mage has won a game.
Yes.
That's
and-
big. That's big.
Good for it. And Warrior has been banned away
Yeah.
for RenieHouR,
Yeah.
which is the counter.
So, I mean,
what's left and what does he do?
okay, if this is Zoo, that's not a bad choice. But Priest, actually, you can do it, especially if you have cards like Holy Fire in there. Like you can
Okay.
heal yourself right up after Alexstrasza. You can make sure that you're always really high on health. And I mean, it's not like a free win. It's not like Warrior where you're like, well, just keep hitting that armor button, you're going to be fine. Because you have to time out your heals right. And you have to be very careful, especially about Antonidas. He's going to be a very dangerous card in that matchup.
Well, Antonidas does help a lot against any of the sustained classes like the Priest, like
Yeah.
the Warrior. One of the only ways you can even beat Warrior. And they're loading up the game, and it looks like, okay, so he did pick the Priest.
Okay.
I think that is the better choice. If the Warlock is Zoo, I actually think that Freeze Mage dominates Zoo. It's one of the best anti-Zoo
You think it's
classes.
still as good as it was? Because, you know, some of these freeze spells, they pop the eggs and stuff. The Death Rattle Zoo, I think, does much better against Freeze Mage than the older Zoos used to against Freeze Mage.
Right. Well, after Nexramas came out,
Mhm.
Zoo with the Death Rattle minions was one of the most popular decks by far. Everyone
Yeah.
was playing the Death Rattles all over the place, and Warlock was one of the most common places to see it played in. And that was one of the best times to play Freeze Mage, because it still destroyed it even with the Death Rattles.
What percent would you put that up?
Maybe 70-30.
No.
Yeah, easily.
I can't get on board with 70-30 on
No.
that matchup.
Even
Can't do
Oh
it.
yeah.
with
Mage
charge
against Warrior
minions with
is not a 70-30.
No. Warlock.
I know. I'm
Warlock
just saying,
Zoo.
one of the most terrible matchups in the game. Mage against
So-
Warrior is favored.
so-
And I still don't think it's even 70-30.
At this level of play, at the higher echelons of play,
Sure.
Freeze Mage against Warrior, especially if you don't have Antonidas, which a lot of the time they didn't, is probably about 95-5
Wow.
in favor of the Warrior.
Incredible.
I absolutely believe that. I have played.
I think Warrior versus Freeze Mage is insane, but I don't think that you're right about your crazy stats against it. I don't think so. I think it's not that bad.
Well, we may
Well-
get to see that matchup if,
But,
if Freeze Mage wins
yeah.
this game.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's possible.
we just saw something crazy good, which was a double draw off of these Northshire clerics, and we can actually see that again.
we might.
Yeah.
he could just let one of his Northshires go down
I mean,
to
we
1
could
health.
see
That's
a
not so bad, especially
quadruple draw if he goes in with both of these clerics against that 2-1.
Oh.
and a Circle of Healing. Well, I doubt
yeah, I
doubt
don't know
he'll
he's gonna
go
do
that deep.
yeah, no, that's a bit beyond what you want to do. I think is even if he pings this at this point, it doesn't even matter. It's like whatever. He's drawn so many cards.
Right, absolutely. He's pretty set up about as well as he can, with giving himself the rest of the game, filling up his hand as quickly as possible. And now the onus is really on Tarei to find a way to break through basically RenieHouR's best play every turn.
Yeah, he's going to be able to choose to do anything.
When you draw Pyroblast as Freeze Mage, does the knowledge that you definitely have at this game change the way you play?
It's a little different than Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza is something that is really critical to draw, especially against a priest. So the Pyroblast doesn't change it as much. There are other matchups where you say, oh, okay, I have Pyroblast, and so now I don't need to wait until I get Alexstrasza to start throwing burn at their face.
So you have to kill the Doomsayer here, right? It's 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's really gross to even try.
You can do it.
Yeah, probably with the... but you'd have to lose your Pyro, right? No, you could heal him. No, wait, you're one
also
mana
have
off.
Power Word Shield.
Right away.
Yeah, but with the Power Word Shield... Oh, if you put it on him, yeah. Okay, you let this Northshire die, yeah. Okay, that works.
Right.
That's good.
So you attack in the Northshire first.
Yeah.
You don't really need any more cards from it.
No, that's totally true. May as well see what you get. Ooh, Ice Lance.
Probably one of the cards he didn't want to get. Thoughtsteal is... Ooh, and he gets another Thoughtsteal. So Thoughtsteal is one of the cards that can swing this matchup really, really quickly.
You get an Ice Block, it's insane.
Oh, wow.
Yep. When the mage gets enough time, the control priest decks, a lot of the
Oh,
time,
how
they
funny.
aren't...
He just wants to get that card out of his hand, even at the cost of his own 1-1. You think he realized he was going to lose that 1-1?
I think not just that, because now he might even lose this 3-1, but there are cards in his deck that are so important. Like, if he has Holy Fire in there and it's the next go, that's terrible for you, because you need that life swing after an Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to burn anything really critical away.
I mean, at this point, why not have just let the Doomsayer have his way? He lost all of his minions anyway.
You know what? That's actually a good point.
Unless he miscalculated.
Could even front-loaded more
Lance.
damage. Like,
It's so rare you play Ice Lance as a priest. Maybe you forget that the Pyromancer's still there.
yeah,
Can't tell you how many times I forget that I have that guy and I wipe my own board.
I get you on that one. I feel the same pain.
Well, these are some giant monsters for RenieHouR, but Double Blizzard is going to hold them at bay for quite a while.
Yeah.
And anything else he can manage to play.
Double Blizzard in the hand, Double Blizzard on the couch.
Hey.
Marketing!
Whoa! Nice, nice. Best card.
Oh, is he going to make
he's
him overdraw?
trying to overdraw him.
Oh, Antonidas!
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, that's a way to be able to get damage in without having to attack.
Yeah,
Yeah, freeze my Antonidas. Please. I don't mind.
that's crazy. Oh, he got rid of the Frost Nova.
Well, if it had been the other way around and
Yeah,
Alexstrasza
that
got rid
would've
of the game may have ended right there.
Yeah.
So the good news for Tarei is that he does have Alexstrasza in hand ready to go, and quite a bit of burn ready as well, behind an ice block. But
Oh, here comes the Antonidas.
but
Oh my
Antonidas
God!
is
What
silence.
a play!
Such
Two
a problem.
fireballs.
Wow.
Crazy. RenieHouR really fighting in this game, man. This is looking
Yeah.
great for him.
oh, those thought steals, man.
Yeah.
Thought steal against freeze mage.
Because he's even... Oh, man. He's never even going to run out of cards. He's drawn so much this game.
I mean, what do you have to do? Do you have to get rid of this Antonidas right now?
Okay, he has Ice Block up. If he goes Alexstrasza, his opponent here, how
Yep.
much can you do next turn? You can do 10.
He has the
His
coin.
opponent can go up to 17. He has a Frostbolt, Ice Lance.
He can do 13, at least.
Okay, he actually, if he doesn't get popped next turn, but
He's got the
does he
coin,
get popped?
too.
Because it's double fireball, so it's 12, 17, 21, 25. Ah,
But that would be his opponent leaving his Alexstrasza alive.
What to do?
That is true.
So
that is
maybe
true.
you
but
have
if
to do
it has
it.
Shadow Word Death, you're in real
And
trouble.
The longer you leave that Antonidas in play, I think I would have liked the.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So he is gonna just make sure he kills it off. So
Okay, but
still pretty reasonable.
He's got no way
Yeah.
to freeze enemy hero now to get
If-
that Ice Lance off, though.
But
until he drops
actually, at
another Frostbolt.
21, if he thinks that, oh wait, yeah, there's not any other damage that would have been in hand. He actually could have been at 1 if he had just Ice Lanced that after playing Alexstrasza. Because then not both fireballs could have been played if he wants to kill Alexstrasza. I actually think this was a misplay. Because if you
By Tarei?
Alexstrasza, if you went Alexstrasza, oh wait, no, he didn't have the mana. Never mind, I'm crazy.
Well, I think it would have
He had
been,
the coin.
would have been great. Well, he could have
But
coined
he
out
couldn't have
Alexstrasza.
frozen anything, so he would have been popped no matter what.
Right.
Well, but then his Alexstrasza lives.
Yeah.
If his Alexstrasza lives, he kills
Yeah,
his
he
opponent.
does. But,
Wow.
oh god, yeah, this is, what
When
a
there
weird...
are this many cards in your hand, it is so complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, if he plays Alexstrasza, it could get stolen, but, I mean, as we know, he's going to have Pyroblast next turn and Fireball the turn after that.
Yeah, the risk is that the opponent's board will grow very quickly. And if you're going to have a turn where you're not freezing your opponent's minions and hoping your ice block survives, it's this one. So any turn beyond this,
Yeah.
it's very tempting to go Ice Barrier, Arcane Int, or Blizzard, Arcane Int, or Blizzard, Ice Barrier, and
Wow, he just halves the health of that Priest player.
you just got to get it done.
Ooh, Mind Control.
Well, that means you're not healing yourself.
That's true.
Yeah. He does need to heal, man. There are... Wait, he saw one Frostbolt, so he knows that still there can be a ton of damage coming in.
Yep. And he's seen the Frostbolt go. Unfortunately, he's holding double Ice Lance without a Frostbolt now.
This matchup is so complicated. You have to do
Yeah.
so much math.
It is.
Yeah.
This is one of the most difficult matchups to navigate from both sides.
Yeah.
There are so many options the whole time.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Now this, he just has to heal up. Hit that, heal up.
Oh. He
Okay,
steals
that's fine,
the
that's fine.
Alexstrasza.
Sure.
And
And
it
goes
is
for
better
some
than
more
5/7.
damage.
And you're not going to use that on anything else
Right.
aside from Antonidas.
That makes sense.
Yep. And something like Heal and Dark Cultist, these are all options. This will probably prompt the all-in from Tarei. The all-in being, of course, the Pyroblast.
Pyroblast, yeah.
And
I
think he has to heal himself. I think
he's got a
anything else
ton of
doesn't make
damage
sense.
next turn.
But
Yeah.
he
He's
doesn't
got
have...
He's got Pyroblast for 10, and then he can
My
deal
magic
8 with
will
the
tear you apart.
with Fireball and the 2 Ice Lances.
Well, that's 10, plus ping is 11. So if his opponent can't heal beyond just his hero power, he'll have 11 damage next turn.
He
He
has
basically
a-
has to have
He
Holy
has
Fire.
a freeze here. He knows that there's 2 fireballs, but that's not enough damage still. Even like with 10 mana, there's really no way unless he's playing Mind Blast.
What
Sorry to bring that card up, Reels, but if he's playing Mind Blast,
Sure.
but he knows he's not going to be. So I think you actually freeze here and just do some of your damage.
So the longer you freeze,
the more he heals.
the more they heal.
Yeah.
Exactly. The longer you let the game go after you Alexstrasza, the more burn you need to find.
The thing is,
in
if
order
he
to
can
win.
find
And
an
you theoretically have the win right now.
Yeah, if he had Pyroblasted, and he could still
He can still do it
he could
right
still
now.
Fireball and double Ice Lance his opponents,
Right now.
get him to
9.
9, and then but then 10 mana doesn't
Right.
close
So
it out.
he needed to play the Pyro so he
Right.
could ping.
Yep.
Of course, he would if he had done that, he would lose to something by using the Ice Lances inefficiently. He's saying, okay, well,
That's right. Yeah, and he's maybe scared of Holy Fire, which is he
the
assumes
Frostbolt
is
is
in
so
that deck.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
the
definitely could
only
be.
the only burn spells in his deck, he has one more Fireball, one more. Oh, and he would have drawn the Holy Nova to stay alive.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
So the all-in
huge.
would have been
Yep,
unsuccessful.
so he pulled the right play. Tarei, so experienced with this deck.
Well, still definitely not out of this. There's like, look, he can clear this. He can, but as the health goes up, this gets worse and worse.
Right, the 2 versus 1. is usually not where you want to be.
Well, even if he draws a Frostbolt, that's still a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is still doable. If he clears this right out, like, ooh. That'll be good later on.
That is good after you see the first half of this gambit. You can delay the second half another turn.
Well, he doesn't have anything really great. I mean,
No, certainly not.
he doesn't, you know, silence would be the best answer here.
Yeah.
But he already used it earlier in the game.
Would you consider stealing that because Cabal is so worthless? Steal that, heal yourself, and that would stay until the next turn, right? So he couldn't do something like Antonidas.
Oh, wow, he's going to use Circle.
Wow. Was not expecting this.
So he uses Fireball and Circle in order
Okay.
to
That's actually
get rid of it.
Yeah, that's way better than dumb idea.
Oh, and he gets the Frostbolt.
There
So
it is. This Lothar is
this
going to be
may-
really important.
this may prompt
Yeah.
the all-in because Pyroblast is 10, and as we know, the full suite of Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance, as we calculated last game, is 18.
So
That's
even if he
28
heals,
damage.
Yeah.
It would be Holy Fire or Bust.
yes, he has to draw Holy Fire next
No,
turn.
he's
if
got
this is the case.
Lothar. He can
And-
stay.
Oh, he's got Lothar.
You know what? That is true. He can do that, but he cannot heal at all because of this Auchenai.
Oh, right.
And so the ice block will remain, and he will not be healing. Even if he draws the other one, he has to use like
Well,
mana
here he
on
goes.
himself.
He's definitely showing that he's ready to kill off his opponent.
Well, it looks like this means you might want a Frost Nova, and this actually
Oh,
is pretty sneaky.
yeah, it is.
He's going to have to kill off his own Auchenai to heal,
Yeah,
and he preserves his Ice Block.
Right.
He is so protected with both secrets.
wow.
He cannot heal out of Pyroblast range.
Such a difficult
He
matchup.
needs to kill his own. He can Lothar. That's
Yep, he has to Lothar.
Will he kill his
off
own? I don't think so.
guy.
Yeah, he's just going for it, and that means he's dead.
Oh, that. Yep. Well,
It doesn't matter either way.
in this case, he does live a turn.
yes. He's still alive.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if he'll Fireball here. Ooh.
You could fireball the Alexstrasza.
Well,
but,
if you fireball,
but you're still
you
out of
can't
range.
ping with it. Yeah.
Well, but it still makes sure
Still,
that
the Holy Fire brings
Holy
him
Fire or Bust.
out. Let's see it.
Oh,
Let's
he
see
needs
it.
to
Holy
get it.
Fire.
Oh,
That's
Shadow
not Holy
Definitely
Fire.
knows.
Oh, he's got to know that this is not going to end well.
The way it has been set up all game, he's probably assuming that his opponent has a Fireball or Pyroblast
Yeah.
in hand. And indeed he does. So, 2 games straight
Wow.
going to be going to the
Tarei.
Freeze Mage deck.
Wow.
And now it's going to be Warlock against Freeze Mage, which is pretty much the nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this was a better matchup.
Wow, that was a great game. Hey, fireball for the win.
But just a
Not
tiny
so
misplay
fast.
here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to end up mattering, but
Could've got
should have
him
hit
to
with the
3.
fireball first. Yeah, get him down to 3. It's obviously going to be a bit better.
Well, but irrelevant is irrelevant. He saw the writing on the wall. You saw it on his face earlier, and
Well played.
Pyroblast comes in. Oh, the big ball of fire.
GG. Tarei takes it.
Wow. Really well played there by Tarei, showing us he is a master of Freeze Mage. Some very hard turns there, and still, I think he navigated it just so well.
Do you think
Yep.
Tarei was disappointed he had to close out the game with Pyroblast, leaving no mana left for BM?
That, you know, I think for Tarei that could be an issue, actually. RenieHouR, on the other hand, probably thankful for that. Doesn't want his feelings hurt anymore. And having to go into Warlock, I would say, in my opinion, Zoo is going to be a much better matchup against that than Handlock. Can you at least agree with me on that?
I do disagree, actually. So
Do you think that Handlock is better against Freeze Mage?
I do. It has more. It has access to more healing, and given the right hand, it has access to similar pressure. Not quite the same, but if you can develop a big board that is hard to remove.
Yeah.
And-
It takes a while. Like, you know, Flame Strike does not wipe that board. That is for
Right.
certain. So
Yep.
definitely does have its upsides, but you know, with some of the cards that we saw in here, like he is playing Cone of Cold, something like that gives you a whole extra turn against this deck. So
Yeah.
we'll see which one it is, though.
He is well equipped to deal with Zoo. There are times, of course, where playing any control deck, but Freeze Mage included, you don't draw the things
Yeah.
that you wanted to have, and you just fall over.
That's true.
To any aggressive
You
deck.
definitely, if you draw in the wrong order as Freeze Mage, you lose to anything.
Absolutely.
Are we going to see our second 3-0 in the bottom bracket of this tournament?
I think we might. I really do. And this Warlock deck was banned last time Renie played, so we actually have no idea if this is Zoo or
interesting.
Handlock yet. Or,
Man,
you know.
definitely seems like the right play to have banned Warrior here for Tarei.
Yeah, it working out much better than last time. He got bit a little bit by it, and when you bring Freeze Mage, when Warrior shows up, sometimes you got to get rid of it. And pretty reasonable start.
Yeah.
The Twilight Drakes are quite good. They can be really sticky, really difficult to remove. The high health there. And I guess that's really all he's got for now, though.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? That's about as good as you can go for. Hellfire is like a card you don't want to see in your hand right now, but definitely a card that can get through freezes to deal those few extra points of damage when you need them.
And
Hellfire
Shadow
can
Flame
get there.
is not a great card in this matchup, right?
No, it
No, not at all.
doesn't really do anything, I think.
Iron
and
Beak
Mountain
Owl
Giant
is a
great.
great card.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those are fantastic. Iron Beak Owl has the dual benefit of being able to silence a Doomsayer or unlock your Mountain Giants when they're
Right.
frozen.
Now, I do want to say about the hand that Tarei has. It's like not terrible, but Flame Strike is one of the last cards that I want to see. Really, it's so clunky. It doesn't actually clear the board like in every other matchup. So
Yeah.
kind of a card you don't really want to draw.
Interesting that he's chosen to go with the Twilight Drake first. Oftentimes you want to get the Giant out as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
But he's probably figuring if his opponent has a Fireball, and he does, now would be the time that they might be willing to use it as removal. Usually you want to save it for damage to the face.
And, you know, by removing that
Yeah.
2/1,
Now
it
he
does
gets rid of
bring the Giant out of Fireball range.
Exactly. So
very
now
nice.
he's
Yeah.
protecting his Giant. Very well done by RenieHouR.
This is the crazy thing about playing Warlock against Freeze Mages. The Warlock's already a third dead. A lot of the work that Tarei is trying to do has already been done for him.
That's true.
Yeah,
Alex
that's true.
Straza, you may be using more likely for your own healing than dealing it to them.
Yep. And he gives up the opportunity cost Tarei does on his hero power. And by doing so, he gets to save, though, the Frost Novas, which are much better later in the game because they're cheaper. You can play other spells at the same time as the Frost Novas.
Well, he did use that owl to unfreeze his Giant.
Yeah.
Right?
Good thing there's 2 Frost Novas right here.
Man, you really want Wailing Soul right now.
Yes, you do.
Wailing Soul, the anti-Freeze Mage tech, maybe.
That's
of
a
the
fact.
future. I don't think Freeze Mage is going to come back big enough to warrant the Wailing Soul anti-freeze tech. But
It was played
knows?
by, what, Hyped last weekend?
it was.
Yeah, so, hey.
There you go.
It's finally been in a tournament deck. I was waiting.
Yeah, we do see it come up every now and then. It is a reasonable metagame counter to certain things. It obviously has more sharp counters of its own against it, so that makes it a bit tough.
Looking at this, man, that was a dangerous Lotheb.
It is really scary.
get
There's so
popped?
much damage.
10, 18, 23.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of damage.
That is so much damage.
That Lotheb worked out great.
I don't think he's going to get popped next turn.
He has 12 that we see right now in hand. Yeah, no, he doesn't quite get popped yet, but
Well, he still has a lot of cards he can draw, a lot of freeze theoretically.
and he still has this coin too, which actually definitely could come into play because he can
Okay.
do something like fireball, coin, ice block in a turn. So that's
Right.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but definitely is a possibility.
Well, he taps so he could look for the win, but it does get him closer to dying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And that will also prompt him to take out the Blood Mage as well. Oh, and a Frostbolt drawn too.
That
Wow.
Frostbolt's so important.
And he has an Ice Block, so...
Double Frostbolt. Oh my god, that's 12, 15 plus another 7. That's lethal right there.
This turn?
Well,
No,
it's
not
not
this
this
turn.
turn.
Not this turn. And he
And
does have some heal, right? He has,
There's the opportunity to heal up, but that's really all there is.
He's got the Earth and Ring Farseer in his hand, and he's got a Iron Beak Owl to unfreeze a guy, but
How much burn do you do right now? Because if he has Draxus, that can change everything.
Right.
Oh,
So
I hope he does.
being at 13, I think the safest thing you can do would be to Frost Nova and Fireball. This would mean that you can still play a lot of your spells next turn. In fact, with the...
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So that would sort of set it up if they do have...
If they have Draxus, you can
heals,
still
they
kill
only go
them,
to-
and yeah.
Draxus, they go to
I
15.
like it. I think you're right.
Earthen Ring or something like that. Siphon Soul, they only go to 16, and it still sets you up to potentially win next turn.
That's great. That's what I want to see here.
Is there any way that RenieHouR, if he gets frozen, can pop that first ice block next turn? He's got,
Without Wailing Soul, no.
he's got the Owl and Hellfire.
Yeah, that's 11. So I guess if he draws a Soulfire, he could. Yeah, he could pop it. That's a good point. Those Owls, man, MVPs.
Runs out on me.
Well, I really like the freeze Fireball plan. You have 16 damage ready to go, so as far as you know, one heal spell is not good enough.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to ping as well. He doesn't need to do it, but he can. It's
Okay.
still fine.
Hey, that makes...
We need a great draw here from RenieHouR to stay in this game.
Draxus would be...
Yep, 9 mana worth of burn spells in his hand, representing 16 damage.
That's it.
He has to life tap into Earthen Ring Farseer number 2.
Is that even...
To live at 1 life. That is
Wow.
the only answer.
Do you think he... I mean...
And if he were to do it... No, now his board's full. He's committed, and that
That's
means it is going to be...
Tarei
If-
3-0.
Tarei, if he counts it up and it looks like, yep, well played, he knows that he's got it.
Just fantastic play
RenieHouR.
by Tarei here.
Oh, wow. Another player gets...
Hello! Hello at the end.
Yep.
Hello, and then a threat after he eliminates RenieHouR from a tournament that RenieHouR had to fly across
Yep.
an ocean for. That's pretty good BM there.
Well, I was impressed with RenieHouR's play of all of what I've seen of him in previous tournaments, and I liked the decks that he brought to this one. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to carry him through into the quarterfinals, so he's eliminated in the round of 16. Tarei still alive, and he'll have a chance to fight for a top 8 spot at BlizzCon.
I think he's got a good shot. He's playing fantastic.
He is no joke. Tarei is the real deal.
Yep.
And he got, I think, a little unlucky in the last match that he played. This match, he played great. Banned Warrior, which was the one thing that really screwed him up last time. 3-0.
Yeah, his strategy in the match that he lost was an okay strategy that hinged upon winning a great matchup. Unfortunately, he lost that great matchup and appeared to get punished for the decisions that he made.
Yeah.
This match, he played it safe and said, okay, I'm just going to play really well. I'm going to make the safe choice. I'm going to play really well and hope that that's good enough, and it absolutely carried him through the whole way. So made it look really easy.
He's a fantastic player. It's sad to see RenieHouR go. You know, he was the highest placing in the last season of OGN Masters player from Korea. But he is out here in 9th through 16th place in the world, so not too bad. 5K.
Yep.
Trip to BlizzCon. Not, nothing to cry about, but obviously he wanted to get a little bit further too.
I still think it represents some very strong representation. From Korea represents representation. But between RenieHouR and Kranich, I think RenieHouR did great to get here and showed off some good skill. And Kranich moving through to the quarterfinals. So Korea is the real deal. Even in Hearthstone, it's only 2 spots, and they did quite well with it. So
that's a fact. And you see that right here in Group B. RenieHouR, of course, did advance out of this group earlier, whereas RenieHouR is now gone. Nicholas and Tarei will play at BlizzCon for that next spot in that round of 8.
That's going to be a great match.
Yeah, and you see Group C will be going into that next, guys, and that's going to be kind of crazy. Shiro going up against Firebat. Those guys both...
against Green Sheep.
Against Green Sheep, yeah.
Yeah, against Green Sheep. Those guys both getting 3-0'd. Yesterday.
Wow.
So,
right. So
definitely going to be a good one. See, maybe they can do a bit better.
Someone's going to get some wins on the board.
Yeah.
Someone's going to stay alive. But it's an elimination match. Someone's also going to be knocked out of the round of 16.
That's right. Well, it looks like it's time to talk to Mr. Freeze himself. Rachel, let us know what he's thinking.
Freeze.
It is time. Good guess. I'm joined here by Monk this time on my interviewing table, and we're going to be talking to Tarei. Tarei, you did an incredible job. You brought the only mage deck to this tournament, and you just went 3-0 with it. So why do you think you're the only mage here?
I'm probably only mage here because there are so many hunters and warriors. And I did predict a lot of people would bring that, but I think mage is still a very strong deck if you can ban one or the other and knock warrior out somehow. So I think it's still one of the strongest decks, which is why I brought it.
Based on your performance, it certainly looked that way.
Yeah, mage is not a deck a lot of people brought. So, but you brought it, and it didn't do so well last time. You ran into a warrior, unfortunately. But this opponent, he didn't have either a warrior or a hunter. Were you glad because of that?
Yeah, I was lucky he didn't have a hunter, but I banned his warrior actually. So.
Oh yeah.
And then after I banned his warrior, the mage was pretty good against all his decks. So I was pretty confident.
Now I just have to ask you. You're wearing a pretty cool shirt right now. It's actually a team shirt, which not many people know about. Can you tell us a little about your team?
Yeah, this is Team Magic Amy. We're sponsored by Prismata, and we're a team consisting of Deng Shi, me, Tom Fleur, and Magic Amy, and we're all pretty high-level Legend players, and yeah, not that much else to say.
Well, this team formed right before this event, and if I understand correctly, it formed for the very specific purpose of getting you to the finals at BlizzCon.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that was the main reason for making the team, which was very helpful. Yeah, I talked a lot with my teammates about what decks to prepare, and I practiced a lot with my teammate Tom.
We also noticed when you went to play RenieHouR, you seemed like a little disappointed that you had to go up against him. Now, were you guys friends before this tournament at all?
Yeah, I was a bit sad. I talked with him a decent amount before we played, and he seems like a nice guy, so I didn't really want to play him.
He seemed like a nice guy, but you didn't have any problem BMing him all throughout that match. I saw you guys exchange more emotes than I think anybody else in this tournament.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to see if we could get a 10 out of 10, but I think we both failed.
I don't know. We're going to have to go over to the caster couch and find out what your ultimate BM rating was, but we're going to go to a short commercial break right before that. Be right back, guys.